Raise your hand if you have a brain. Get your hand up. Come on. Yes, yes, you too. When I first held a human brain in the palm of my hand, a lifetime's worth of hopes, dreams, pain, and suffering, I looked down at this oh so small little ball of white and grey matter. And I was struck by really just how little time we have on this earth. And I began to think, and I began to feel that maybe the answers, maybe the secrets that I was looking for, maybe they weren't to be found in this life as a neuroscientist that I'd been living. So I moved on, and I went to try, and I dabbled. And I got, in fact, pretty good at a couple of things. I traveled internationally as a fire performer, spinning flaming swords. I competed on national television in Australia Ninja Warrior. I led a political campaign, and I presented to the Australian Senate. I started several businesses. I became legally recognized as a shaman. That's my favorite one, I think, yeah? I competed again on national television in a different show for Australia's Got Talent, and now I run a training program that teaches doctors how to recognize and diagnose and actually treat ADHD. Now, I say all of these things not just to flex, but to demonstrate that if there's one thing I'm really good at, it's getting really good at something. I would like to invite you into the possibility that you can become anyone you want through a process that I have called identity shifting. And you can do this like that. My name is Jack. I grew up in Australia, and I spent my whole life having this sense of who I wanted to be and who I wanted to become. But I would try this, and nothing ever really spoke to me. So I kept trying. My friends, my family, they would say, Jack, don't you ever get sick of always moving around from thing to thing? And the fact is, I didn't really. Because one thing that I learned is that it's really good to be really good at something. So I realized that this was a thing that I was good at, and I began teaching this. I began helping other people change their lives and step quite rapidly into greatness. It was really fun. The thing that really connected me to this work and this ability to become quite great quite quickly are things that I discovered at that intersection of neuroscience and spirituality. And these are the things that I want to share with you today. Now, we're about to start moving quite quickly because I have a lot to tell you, so keep up. The very first thing that I want to share with you is neuroplasticity. It's a concept from neuroscience. Many of you may be familiar. Let me see if I can give you a really quick crash course in what neuroplasticity really means. Neuroplasticity, neuro, brain, plastic, plasticine, moldable, shapeable, changeable. Neuroplasticity is the revelation that, in fact, our brains are not fixed, they are not held in place, but they are these fluid, dynamic, changing things that can become anything that we want. And let me explain to you how neuroplasticity works. Let's presume that this here is a neuron. We have the cell body here, and if you've ever seen a neuron, you'll know there's all these little things coming off of it. They're called dendrites, which means branch-like or literally finger-like. So these finger-like projections. Now, there are two phrases that you need to understand to be able to apply neuroplasticity to change your brain. And let me remind you quickly, by the way, you are your brain. There are two phrases. Phrase number one, neurons which fire together, wire together. Neurons which fire apart, wire apart. That's it. That's the whole formula. But what this really means is that every single time you fire a set of neurons, they're in a great big network, but every single time you fire some neurons together, they wire together a little tighter and tighter and tighter until you have this tightly bound network that will fire so easily and so automatically and so powerfully. And in fact, through repetition, this really becomes who we are. And if you want to experience neuroplasticity in action, next time you go to brush your teeth, Of course, first pick it up with your dominant hand. You'll find it so easy. Then, switch sides and try brushing your teeth with a hand that perhaps you haven't used before. And you're going to experience your brain unwiring things, rewiring things. If you're sensitive, it's going to feel very strange. But what neuroscience has shown us, objectively, is that through this process of neuroplasticity, we are literally rewiring and making new and different connections in our brain. You are literally changing the architecture of your brain. And we do this through deliberate thought, deliberate action, and repetition. Neuroplasticity, it's a big deal. The biggest takeaway is you are not fixed. You can change. Number two, the most important thing that we need to really embrace if we want to change who we are is we need to get really good at conquering fear. Fear exists to keep us safe, not happy. Fear is the voice in the back of our heads that says, do what you did yesterday and the day before. And even if you hate that job and you're in this relationship that's slowly killing you, that's okay because at least you're alive now, so just go back and you'll be alive still. It looks for what is safe, but we're not here to play it safe. So to change, we must conquer fear. Fear is the village wall. By the way, this is how you conquer fear. You understand its nature. You understand what it's trying to teach you and say to you so that you can decide if you want to lean into it or not. Fear is the wall around the village that keeps the lions at bay. But there's no food in the village. And everything that you want is on the other side of fear. We must conquer fear if we want to change who we are. Number three, and this one really excites me. If you can get this, this is a really juicy one. This is where things get really fun for me. You don't exist. Let me show you. Who here has ever had this goal, this dream of wanting to find like their true, authentic self? Has this ever been yeah, I see some hands. Yeah, cool, good on you. Good luck. So, here's the fact. Let's imagine that you're speaking to the store clerk. You're having that interaction that you've had time after time after time. How do you feel in that moment? How do you talk? How do you present? What's going on in your mind? Now picture yourself speaking to the King of England. Different or the same? What about if you're being mugged and someone is coming at you in an alley looking for your money or your life? You're going to feel different. And in fact, neuroscience shows us that in each of these different times, we are a different version of ourselves. Neurologically, physiologically, chemically, hormonally. The memories and the thoughts that you can access in these moments, they are all different. You are objectively a different version of yourself. So which of these is the real you? Where is the real you? Go on, place it now in the palm of my hand. Show me the real you. And if we can embrace the idea that this doesn't exist, liberation. Because if who we are and who we have been is simply just repeated, reinforced wiring that we have habitually done, but if the real us doesn't exist at all, that blows open the whole game that allows us to step into becoming whoever we want. So here's what's possible for you and for the world. You can all rewire, refire, conquer fear, and embrace new identities to become whoever you want, or perhaps for you, just move away from being someone who maybe you don't want to be. This is available to you. And here, let me show you quickly something that will make this very easy for you to get started. Closing down your eyes, and if you're listening at home, if it's safe to do so, just closing down the eyes. And I want you to begin to dream at the edge of what's possible. I want you to think and reach for something, a life that you may experience that is beyond what you have previously thought possible. Now dream bigger and bigger still. Find something juicy and real, something that really excites you, that you never thought you could have. You're still too small. Play bigger. Come on. There we go. Now find that and get excited about that. The feeling is important. Feel that feeling. Open your eyes. Did you find something? Good. Here's what you need to do. You need to take that and draw from that and pull it here into the now so that you can start embodying this now. And the difference is, let's say that you wanted to become that lead singer, that lead guitarist on stage. Pick up that guitar and start singing in front of your friends. But here's the difference. If you dissolve this old identity, it's so much easier to step into this new one because there's a huge difference between being someone who is that lead guitarist on that stage than someone who one day kind of wants to be and is a little bit scared, just kind of working on it, and look at there eventually. If there is no real us and we can be anyone we want, then step into our greatest version. It's available to you now. It's there. So here's my wish for you and for the world. That we all realize that we don't have to be one person in particular. That we truly can and we truly are playing in this infinite playground where we can become anyone we want. And if we can all become this truest version of ourselves, we'll lift up this whole planet in a way that makes us all rise and shine.